right, good morning, everybody. What's going on for you today? Let's see what's happening. Woohoo! Later today, the tarot certification folks, we are going to be giving you your teams so you can start reading for other people. And those of you guys who are in my Empress Club or in my Pathfinders group, I am going to open up my tarot certification members so that you can get readings from them. This is their practice. Okay, so we'll be talking a lot more about that this week in our sessions and everything, Pathfinders group, and I'll be posting some things in the Empress Club just so you know. All right, if you're looking to be part of that, there's links in the description box below, and also we will be starting I believe it's the end of June, we will be starting our next round of tarot certification. So if you missed out on the first round, some amazing people in there. I have been very, very honored by the presence of some of these amazing readers, and we will be allowing them to be part of all y'all very, very soon so that they can get some practice and you can get some readings, okay? So just stick around for that. Allow work to become your art. 100%. Cut away what is no longer needed for you. And Galactic Grandmother. So some of you have been asking me about healing, and I've been doing a lot of ancestor readings recently. Last week I did a whole round, full zodiac of the ancestor messages for you. And I'm just getting this sense of like a lot of the work we're doing in healing right now is healing the ancestral grid, is healing our ancestor, whatever we have brought into this life because of the ancestor, whatever they have done or leftover karma or whatever it is, we're working with that. And as a bunch of spiritual leaders on my channel, you guys know that this is a really important piece of healing the rest of the planet, is healing your ancestral lineage. So we'll be talking more about that in my Ascension group this week on Wednesday. We'll be talking a lot about ancestral healing. All right, so if you want to jump onto that, you can do that too. Okay, so let's see what the reading has to say. I feel like this is also about like the messages of what we've learned in this lifetime about creative work and how important it is. And if your family was not kind of very psyched about about you becoming an artist or becoming some kind of mystic healer or something like that, now I feel like the tables are turning, or it's shifting in an important way, because, you know, the healers are really necessary right now. Yep, that's a big old yes. Especially healing of the heart. That is the thing that is shifting our Wheel of Fortune, that is shifting our awareness. Queen of Wands, that's the more creative energy here. Lots of Sag and Leo. All right, lots of Sag and Leo. Is Leo right now in the 10th house? I feel like it is. I was looking at the astrology today. There's something about creative process that can be healing your heart, or work that you're doing needs to be more creative. It's kind of a message of like, hey, it can't just be kind of rote, whatever you're doing. Like, it can't just be like one size fits all, or it must be creative and it must be specific to people. All right. I definitely am noticing that we are being called to do more work, kind of a one-to-one kind of basis, which is why we're doing this tarot certification and other kinds of stuff. And same with me. Like, I'm noticing that I'm really wanting to have more coaching clients or more one-to-one sessions or something like that. So you may be feeling called to do that kind of work, and that's definitely something that's coming online. I've noticed that too in my own experience. So 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, Hanged Man, seeing work from a new angle, using a different word for it. Allow your work to become your art. So your work is your art. Art is your work. Somebody needs to hear that. 3 of Wands, 2 of Swords. Yeah, right? 4 of Pentacles. How am I going to earn a living, right? Like, all of this stuff is ancestral. So if you have been discouraged from becoming an artist or a musician or whatever your art is, jewelry, I don't know, like anything, and you've been like, nope, can't do it because of the money or because I can't support myself, I feel like those things are shifting. 6 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, absolutely. 6 of Cups. So that's one message here, that we are definitely stepping into our creative work. And it's really our art that needs to come to the fore. We've been having, decades and decades of artists, musicians, poets, really shove their work down or not do anything with it because of the nature of our society, saying that's not really work or whatever. And also yesterday, so interestingly, when I first started doing the reading, I was just like, hey, Monday's here and I'm psyched to do this, because when you are doing what you're here to do, there's no line of demarcation between you living your life and what you're here to do, right? It's just like your work kind of becomes your life. I think Picasso said the same thing. Picasso was like, I didn't know if I was living or working or eating or hanging out with my wife or hanging out with my kids or anything like that. It was all part of the same thing. Because when you're an artist, when you're really, there's no separation between how you live your life and how you live your art. There's no separation. It's all the same thing. You're bringing your own inspiration to the work, to your art, to your expression. This is about creative self-expression. And Galactic Grandmother has a message for us around that it's time to look at those expressions differently, time to give it more reverence. This is like almost like the Medicis, in the Renaissance time, when there was, wealthy people underwrote art because it was really important to do so. There might also be some kind of rebirth of that. But what is Galactic Grandmother? Okay, you're jumping out here. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, definitely supporting other people in their art. The Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Lovers, and the Hierophant. So this is definitely interesting. I feel like some of you are making commitments to your art. Some of you are moving forward with projects or moving forward with things because you now have support. Some of you may be deciding to become part of a collective that supports each other. All right. Some of you may be deciding to present yourself to the world as an artist or as a tarot reader or as an astrologer or something like that, whatever the work is. And there's definitely every single walk of life has its own group of people who view whatever it is as art. It's my creative expression that I'm here to do. And I feel like the money thing has always hampered people. We're right now in the middle of our spiritual business class, and I'm seeing just so much of we're talking about money blocks this week, and moving on from that, alleviating those kinds of ideas because they're old school and they're not true anymore. Like the universe is supporting art now. Four of Cups, Six of Wands, overcoming this, the Empress, and the Fool. Absolutely. Absolutely. I almost feel like benefactors. I mean, that was definitely like Leonardo da Vinci in the 1500s, right? 1400s, can't remember, 15th century, something like that. Definitely being supported by kings and princes and wealthy people. Were supporting art more, but you were kind of like beholden to what they wanted you to do. So it's not all that different. Like, Da Vinci had to do a lot of things that he didn't necessarily want to do, but because he wanted to make his art, he wanted to do what he was doing, right? The church, he was part of that. He was part of that kind of support system that would pay him to paint and pay him to do his art. He was just such an incredible human being. And I feel like there's almost this chance, this kind of offer where someone is seeing you, someone is seeing you as an artist. No matter what you do, no matter what it is, it's bringing joy to the world. It's your creative expression. You stand very much at the precipice of spiritual awakening when you're really in your art movement, or when you're in your when you're in that creative expression. it's so necessary to figure out how to express yourself creatively. I feel like some of you might be getting an offer to really take your art to a new level. Some of you may be, right, because we had this, right, this is why I was talking about Da Vinci, because of the church. There's something about that during that time that they were very open and awakened and allowing of people to be creative, but within parameters, right? They weren't giving them free reign necessarily, but it allowed these people to live and be creative in their own right. And so I almost feel like now what we're instead of creating some kind of like slave enslavement, right, to an institution or to wealthy people or anything like that. This is much more about how can I bring my artisanship, how can I bring my self-expression to what I am doing, right? And like, so for example, I'm a writer, and you can do a lot. There's lots of different kinds of writing, right? There's copywriting, there's journalistic writing, there's documentarian, script writing, all kinds of writing. I feel like the people, I'm almost getting this hit about the writer's strike, that there's something here that's going to shift massively that will allow these people to be well supported by their art, like coming from a completely new place. So I know I've had a lot of experience in television, and there was a time when the three big networks, were really kind of strangling any kind of creative expression in terms of really great television or really great, film was still something awesome, but like television itself. And then Netflix came along and HBO and all of these independent kind of channels to allow for the channeling of art. Some of the best creative expressions were channeled through those channels, right? It's very interesting to me to see this. And there's a sense of like not feeling valued if you are somebody who does something that isn't traditional, right? That isn't traditional. Sometimes, for some of you, I feel like this is either coming into a community of artists or being supported by other people who have been successful as artists. A lot of people who were starving artists and have made money and have become benefactors, right? Have become people who really want to support other people in their art. And, it really is something to behold. I feel like some of you also are finding partners, maybe finding new partners. Maybe you guys do your work together, you do your art together. Some of you may be manifesting opportunities. Okay. And so the Galactic Grandmother is saying to us that we are healing the denigration or the pushing down of creative expression because it can't be controlled or something like that. Like it's been controlled by financial need for such a long time that there may be something completely healed in that because so many people are willing to do their creative work now. It's just becoming such a thing because there's new channels like YouTube, like, TikTok or like Instagram or whatever, whatever. I mean, regardless of all the other trappings that are around it, there are other channels. And like, are those channels, are they starting to crush people because they have their own goals and things like that? That's been a topic of conversation right here on this platform for the last year or so. So I want to say this to you, that I'm getting this sense, and I will be doing more on this, about the North Node shifting into Aries and Libra, which is really about relationships. We have had Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node since January of 2022. And so there has been these questions of financial support. Also, can I transform? Can I be a transformative figure or be someone who is creatively expressing themselves in the midst of this demand, really, because Taurus is very traditional, this demand for traditional kind of adherence to how people are earning their living. And I feel like as we shift this summer into Aries and Libra, Aries is definitely like, I am doing my thing. And Libra is about, okay, who is supportive of that? It could be a community. It could be like people plugging themselves into kind of non-traditional opportunities. It could be, you know, people plugging themselves into love relationships that really encourage expansion, creative expansion, and are supportive financially also. Like when a couple of you come together, or it is a couple actually, right? Like some kind of love relationship that does support your art or supports your expression. That's when the new pathway is opening up, because we are having that experience of I don't need to um I don't need to do something that isn't supportive of my creative genius, and we all have it. Some of you are creatively, some of you are accountants who are creatively, genius. Like you really just see how money works. Or some of you can be, doctors or lawyers or whatever, who just really are artists in their own right. Some of you are storytellers. Some of you are writers. Some of you are fine artists. Some of you are sculptors. Some of you are jewelry designers. Whatever it is, whatever your creative expansion is, I feel like there's an opportunity coming to plug yourself into fill in the blank that will support my art, because we are the creative among us, the real creative among us. And a lot of people don't think they're creative because they don't make art, but that's a little bit like trying to pigeonhole things. Like there's plenty of people who are super creative. I have a friend from high school who is like amazing at restoring old cars, right? Amazing at doing, what is the art we're talking about? Cooking, anything along those lines. So I feel like there's opportunity coming to plug yourself into a new realm of creative expression that is going to be supported. Okay, so I'll pull cards for each individual zodiac sign in the extended so we can see where we go with this. Wow. Wow. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on Pathfinders. Let's just keep going.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.